जी औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम. I seek refuge in Allah from shaitan, the wretched one. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the compassionate, the most merciful. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba alal ladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. This verse is regarding fasting throughout the month of Ramazan. Today we want to talk about some masail connected to fasting. What is fasting? How the intention should be made, when fasting starts, when it finishes, what nullifies the fast and what does not break the fast, what is makruh during the fast, what is mustahab during the fast. These are some masail, and we need to learn the masail and put them into practice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِيَتَفَقَّهُوا فِي الدِّينِ وَلِيُنذِرُوا قَوْمَهُمْ إِذَا رَجَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَحْذَرُونَ. Meaning, tafaqquh fi deen, gaining the understanding of deen, is something desirable. That is why Rasul Pak sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, فَقِيهٌ وَاحِدٌ أَشَدُّ عَلَى الشَّيْطَانِ مِنْ أَلْفِ عَابِدٍ. One jurist faqih is more burdensome for the devil than 1,000 worshippers who do not have the understanding and fiqh of deen. Because the devil will drag them and make them do things which are not desirable, which are not allowed. Or maybe he makes them do some ibadat, whereas he is making them break their fast. So anyhow, learning the masail is extremely important. That is why today we will just speak about the masail connected to fasting. First of all, the definition of fasting. This is book called Nurul Idah. We teach this over here to the students in the second year of the Alimiyah course. Unfortunately, we have the English translation, and I'm going to read from here, and then we will go through some of the masail. Wissam Charkawi has translated this, and the book is written by Hassan ibn Ali al-Sharambulali. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Sheikh Sharambulali writes, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, fasting is to abstain during the day from allowing anything to enter into the stomach, whether intentionally or by mistake, or that which has the same legal status of the stomach, such as the brain. In addition, fasting is to abstain from sexual gratification along with the intention of fasting, and this abstention is to be from a person who fits the criteria of fasting, such as number 1, being a Muslim, 2, being sane, and 3, mature, and 4, free from menstrual bleeding and postnatal bleeding. Such a person will be allowed to fast, and this is the definition of fasting: staying away from eating, drinking, sexual gratification throughout the day, and taking any food or water inside your stomach directly, which goes inside the stomach. Which means that if something does not go directly, indirectly, like injection, then that will not be against the fast. Something which goes directly, like a person had a stroke and a hole over here and the food is going directly inside, that will nullify the fast, because it's going inside the stomach. Or directly inside the brain through the nose or through the ears and goes inside the brain, then that will break the fast. Otherwise, if
you mean somebody with a nose drops?
Nose drops liye, snuff liya.
अंदर जाता है ना वो. First.
Somebody pull nose drops, or asthma inhaler.
अच्छा.
Asthma inhaler जो है, also it goes inside.
Portal of entry.
अच्छा नहीं जाता, खाली लंग में जाता, पेट में नहीं जाता ना.
Portal of entry.
नहीं डॉक्टर साहब. Inhaler जो है लिया, ventilating whatever, it goes in the lungs, not in the different pipe है. दो पाइप है ना, एक तो है आपका ट्रैकिया जो लंग्स में जाता है, जिसे आपके वेंटिलेटिंग जाता है, दूसरा इसोफेगस है जो स्टमक में जाता है.
अच्छा, स्मोकिंग कहाँ जाता है?
स्मोक लंग में जाता है.
अच्छा,
लेकिन इसमें रिलैक्सेशन ज्यादा है.
तो इस स्मोकिंग से टूट जाता है. अगरबत्ती का धुआं ले जानबूझकर तो टूट जाता है, स्मोक से टूट जाता है. तो इसी तरह ये आसमा इनहेलर भी चूंकि अंदर गया, इसलिए बोलते हैं उससे टूट जाएगा. Of fasting. The reason which obligates Ramadan fasting, Sheikh writes, the cause which obligates the fasting of Ramadan is one's presence in the time that is correct to fast. And the arrival of each day of Ramadan is a reason obligating one to fast that particular day. This means that we will only have to fast on those days in which a person will only have to fast on that day in which he is alive, he is present. So let's say if he went into coma and he was in the coma for a long period, or he died, then the day in which he died, that fast will not be compulsory upon him. And the niyat and intention of fast which we have to make is for every day. Let's say if a person makes niyat of fasting the whole month in the beginning of Ramazan, I'm going to fast throughout this whole month, then that niyat will not be sufficient. He will have to make niyat every day when he is fasting, that I am fasting. So over here the masla comes of niyat. So let's talk a bit about the niyat masla. First of all, as we said, niyat and intention is compulsory. If a person does not make niyat, but he avoids the three things throughout the whole day, the fast will not be counted. Niyat is important. Number two, niyat should be made of every day. Number three, niyat can be made any time before nisfun nahar shari'i, half shari day, which is 1 hour before zawal. 1 hour before zawal means, let's say zawal today is 1:15, then you can make niyat before 12:15. So any time before 12:15 you can make niyat.
Agar bhul jaye,
no problem. But if you forget until 12:15, then you can't do after that. You have to do it before 12:15. The maximum day you have to spend with niyat. If you do it after that, then the maximum day is without niyat, only less than half is with niyat, so your intention will not be counted and that roza will not be counted. You can make intention before you go to sleep at night, that tomorrow I'm going to keep roza. After Isha you make niyat, that's okay, that's sufficient. You can make niyat at Sahri time, you can make niyat after Fajr, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
But after Zuhr you can't.
After Zuhr you can't make niyat. So you have to make niyat that I am fasting. Another thing, you don't have to use the tongue to make your niyat. Niyat is in the heart. When you know, because when you wake up in the morning, you sit down for Sahri, deep down your heart, you know that I am doing this Sahri to keep fast, so that's enough. Your knowing is enough. We are only talking about, let's say, if it was in normal days, like December, or a person goes to work in London, he sets off after having, nice big breakfast, 6 o'clock, and the Subh Sadiq is 7 o'clock. So he had big breakfast, and then he went to work, he didn't have anything to eat, he didn't have anything to drink, until at 5 o'clock he came back home. Now Maghrib was at 4 o'clock. So he came back home, then he ate and he drank. Then even though he was hungry and thirsty throughout the day, he will not get sawab of fasting, because he did not make intention for fasting. So that's why you have to make an intention that today I am fasting, then you will get the sawab. So similarly for Ramazan, you have to make an intention, and you have to remember that for Ramazan, you can make intention anytime. Similarly for Nafil Roza, you can make any time before Nisfun Nahar, half Shari day. As for Qaza Roza, you have to make niyat before Subh Sadiq. Let's say if someone made Roza Qaza, and he is doing the Qaza in December, November, January, then before Subh Sadiq he has to make niyat that tomorrow, the day that's starting now, I am keeping Qaza of my 15th of Ramazan which I missed, or 16th of Ramazan, 17th of Ramazan. So these are some masail regarding niyat. Moving on, with regards to niyat, Sahri is not farz, Sahri is sunnat. So if someone gets up in the morning, eats Sahri, it's better. Rasul Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said that Sahri is a very barakati and blessed food. He was having Sahri, some Sahabi came and he said, Halumma ila ta'am al-mubarak. Come and eat this blessed and barakati food. So he said, Tasahharu fa inna fi suhudi baraka. Do your Sahri because there is barakat in Sahri. So even if you can't eat to the fill, you have a glass of water, a glass of juice, or something, some cereal, that is also counted as Sahri, and you will get sawab for doing the Sahri. So we have to do Sahri. In fact, in one hadith, he said the difference between our fasting and the fasting of other nations is suhoor. They don't do suhoor, they eat and drink as much as they want before they go to sleep, and then they get up in the morning and start their fasting. But we get up and we do sahri. The benefit of sahri is that we get up, we can pray a few rakats tahajjud as well at the time of sahri, because it is good to have sahri, and we can make intention as well. If a woman was on her menstruation and she became pak before Subh Sadiq, and she had enough time to make intention for fasting, then she has to fast on that day, because she became pak before Subh Sadiq at Sahri time. She has to make an intention, tomorrow I'm going to fast. She can wash herself later on, but she has to make the intention of fasting. And
before Zawal?
Yeah, she can take bath anytime, but she has to pray Fajr. So she has to take bath immediately and make niyyah and pray Fajr. However, if a woman had kept fast and her period started during the day, Zohar Asar time, then that fast will be broken and she will have to make up for that fast later on when she makes up for the other fast during the menstruation period. So these are some masail regarding the niyyat and intention and suhoor.
तो जो रोजे छूट गए menstruation के ज़माने में,
हाँ,
तो वो उसको बाद में करना पड़ेगा.
बाद में, she has to do it afterwards. 5, 6, 7 rozas, whatever, she has to make up after that. Even if she can't keep the roza of Shawwal, no problem. Shawwal roza is only mustahab. But these 6 rozas which she missed are farz. So it would be, if she feels that she won't be able to make up later on, then it would be better for her, rather than keeping the Shawwal mustahab roza, to keep this qaza roza which she has missed out.
तो शवाल में रख सकते हैं वो रोजे.
बिल्कुल रख सकते हैं. Shawwal, Zulqada, Zulhijjah, anytime. It is better if she does it before the next Ramazan. Throughout the year, anytime when she gets time, she should make up before next Ramazan. As Aisha radiallahu anha says, sometimes I would not be able to keep my fast throughout the year until the next Shaban would come. And then I would keep fast, because Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam would be fasting most of the Shaban. So he would help me, he would encourage me, and I would also keep my fast with him. So it is better, if you keep them in Shaban, help your wife to make up for her fast as well.
Kindness that didn't apply to namaz, namaz during that period if they miss out.
Not farz namaz. She doesn't have to make up for the farz salat she missed. Only farz som she had. Because salat every month, 5-6 days, how many salat? 30-40 salat every month. It's hard to make up. But som, only 5-6 in 1 year. Easy to make up. So Shariat said make up for the fast, not for the salat. Here it is said that fasting is of 6 types. Farz, wajib, masnoon, mandub, nafal, makruh. Farz is that of Ramzan roza and kafarat and qaza of Ramzan, and whatever is manzoor and mannat is being done. Wajib is any nafal roza which a person had broken. He has to make up for that nafil roza which he had broken. That is called wajib. Masnoon is the roza of fasting of Ashura along with the 9th and 10th Ashura are masnoon rozas. Mandub, meaning mustahab, are 3 rozas of every month, and it is better that they are ayyamul bid. It is desirable to keep them in the white days of every lunar month, which are 13, 14, 15 of every month. Also, it is mandub and desirable to keep fast of Monday and Thursdays of every week. Also, the 6th of Shawwal are also mandub and mustahab.
What is mandub?
मंदूब means मुस्तहब, पसंदीदा, अच्छा है, रखना चाहिए, अल्लाह को पसंद है. Similarly, those fasts are mustahab which have been recommended by the Sharia, like Sawm Dawoodi. Dawood alayhi salam used to keep fast one day and not fast the second day. So alternate days he would fast. So this is mustahab. Nafil is anything besides what has been mentioned. A person likes fasting in Rajab, Shaban. Some ladies, mashallah, they fast throughout the month of Rajab, throughout the month of Shaban. This is nafil. They will get thawab for it. Rasul Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that in Jannah there are 8 gates. One of them is named Rayyan, and those who used to keep fasts will enter in that through that gate. So over here he means those who used to keep fast abundantly, excessively, many fasts. That door will be exclusively for them. No one else will be able to enter that gate named Rayyan. So this is nafil fast. Makruh, it's of two types. Makruh tanzihi, makruh tahrimi. Makruh tanzihi is to keep the fasting of Ashura one day only. We should try and keep the 9th and the 10th both days. It would be makruh tanzihi, slightly disliked to keep only one fast of the 10th. And makruh tahrimi, which is nearly haram, are the fasts of 2 Eids and Ayyam Tashriq. 2 Eids, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, and Ayyam Tashriq 3 days after that. So these 5 days are called makruh tahrimi, very near to close to haram to fast on these days. Thereafter he mentions some ulama have also stated that only keeping Friday alone, Friday's roza every week, Friday only, is also makruh. Only Saturday every week is also makruh. If you want to keep Friday, you have to keep one day after it or before it, Thursday and Friday or Friday and Saturday. That would be better, because we have been prohibited from imitating other nations. Like the Yahud, they make Sabbath. So Allah Pak says, don't be like them making Sabbath of Yawmul Jumu'ah. If you want to keep one day after it or before it as well. Also, some fasting days which the people of Jahiliyyat used to keep, like Nairoz and Mahrajan. So to celebrate these days or keep fast in those days is also called makruh. Sawm Wisal is also classed as makruh. So these are some masail regarding fasting and the types of fasting which a person has to do. पूछ रहे थे आप डॉक्टर साहब? मकरूह रोजे जो बात कर रहे थे, शनिचर जुमा का रोजा।
मैं पूछ रहा था ये शाबान की जो शब बारात में रोजा था,
हाँ
14 शब बारात को जुमे जाने की रात,
हाँ
दूसरे दिन रोजा था, जुमा का रोजा था, रोजा अलाउड है वो?
हाँ वो रोजा है, अच्छा है, रखो उसको।
जुमे का रोजा, जुमे को जरा वो नहीं है,
वो तो एक स्पेशल आ गया है,
हर जुमे को नहीं करता,
हर जुमे को, कोई आदमी खास कर ले जुमे को इबादत के लिए, इसलिए मैं आई यूज द वर्ड एवरी फ्राइडे। पीर और जुमेरात की सुन्नत, रसूल पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम लाइक कीपिंग फास्ट ऑन पीर, फ्राइडे, मंडे एंड थर्सडे, but he said don't, because he saw one Umm-ul-Mu'mineen keeping roza on Friday, and he asked her, did you keep fast yesterday? She said no. Are you going to keep fast tomorrow? She said no. Well then don't keep fast today, break your fast. I said, we have been prohibited from imitating and copying the other nations. Moving on, Ru'yat-e-Hilal, sighting of the moon. We don't want to go into that debate, but just some masail mentioned over here by Mufti Salman Mansoor Puri. That sighting of the moon, if someone goes on a helicopter to look for moon and he sees the moon over there, then it will be allowed, and that moon sighting will be accepted. However, on a flight, on a plane, if the plane is closer to the earth, like the helicopter, and the moon was sighted there, it would be allowed. But if it goes beyond that, and 30,000-40,000 feet above, then moon is seen over there, then that will not be accepted. Moving on, he says, if someone sees with binoculars, then that will also be accepted.
Are we talking about
also,
horizon here?
Horizon, yes. Then moving on, इख्तिलाफ मतालिह का एतबार नहीं. That if there is a difference of matla, क्या कहेंगे, horizon, उसके ऊपर निकलने की जगह. So according to the Hanafi maslak, the ikhtilaf and difference of matla, place where the moon is sighted, is of no relevance. If moon is sighted in one place, then the other areas should also accept that sighting. Over here, Sharam Bulali rahmatullahi alayhi has said, the ruling of seeing the moon from different places. وإذا ثبت في مطلع قطر لزم سائر الناس في ظاهر المذهب وعليه الفتوى وأكثر المشايخ. If the sighting of the moon is confirmed in one country, it is necessary upon all the people in all the other countries to adhere to this sighting, and they must fast accordingly. This is the most evident view of the mazahib, and the fatwa issued is in accordance with this view, and one in which the majority of the scholars have maintained. However, another view maintains to the contrary. Usko sharh mein likha hai. Anyhow, over here we are just talking about England, because this tafsir and these masail are in England. We will not talk about other countries. They should follow what the locality decide. If there is a moon sighting committee, they make a decision, follow that decision. Where the majority go, this masala of moon sighting is not something major. People have made it into a big thing. It's not that there are many other big masail than the matter of moon sighting. I'm saying it's nothing major. Hazrat Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu, he was once returning, and the moon was about to be sighted, and people after Maghrib were looking for the moon. So Umar ibn Anas radiyallahu anhu said, there is the moon, there is the moon. So Hazrat Umar radiyallahu anhu, where is it? He said, there it is. Can you not see it? I can see it. Umar said, no, I can't see it. Then Umar radiyallahu anhu lied down. He said, I will see it while I am lying down on my bistara. Agar nazar aana hai to aa jayega. If it's possible, I will see it. Otherwise, no problem. You have seen it. That is not enough for me. So this shows that moon sighting is not something major and big. It is something that we should try and we should see. Over here in England, because there are so many clouds that sometimes you can't even see the sun. Never mind seeing the hilal, the crescent. We can't see the stars in most days. So over here, the climate over here is such that it's near impossible to sight the moon. So in this country, people, the ulama, they used to follow the Morocco or some other procedure. Then some other. At the moment, the procedure is that if the moon is sighted in Saudi Arabia and the decision comes, we follow. That is the view of the majority and consensus of the ulama. So we follow that, and there is so much ease in there for everybody. So we should stick to that. Wherever that is possible, do it. If you live in a town in which there is another criteria, follow that criteria. But majority of the ulama follow this criteria. It is better to follow this. Or this is just regarding some masail of the moon sighting. I don't want to go into too many details. Over here, the masail regarding receiving news by telephone, receiving news by radio, because this some time ago, this is 20 years ago, this book was written. There was no mobile phones, and there were no emails and this and that. Alhamdulillah, today we have so many wasail. The world is like a global village. It's like a small gaon, small village. So if there is news, there is only one moon throughout the earth. So if one moon is sighted in one place, then alhamdulillah, other people should also accept it. Only one thing should be kept in mind. Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi mentioned in Awjazul Masalik that there are, how can I say this? You know, the sighting of the moon, sometimes it's in the north, in the middle, in the south, and it's going around, well, the word's going around. So the climate of England is very closer to the climate of Saudi Arabia. So if Saudi Arabia moon is seen, then England can also accept it. But the climate of India and Pakistan is lower. And another point is that they are on the eastern side and we are on the western side. So those in the west can accept the sighting of those in the east. But if those in the west cannot accept the sighting of those in the west, because if we were to tell them to do that, then people in Australia and New Zealand would be in a problem. Because if moon is sighted in Saudi Arabia, and we say that the Australia and Fiji and Japan and New Zealand on that side, eastern side, they also have to follow that. Maybe it's day over there and it's 12 o'clock during the day, and they have had their breakfast and lunch, and we can't say keep fast. So that is why they are not allowed to accept. But we in the West are behind according to time. We can accept the sighting of the people of the East. So there is no harm in there. Only one thing is left over here, that in Saudi Arabia they are not very particular about this and that. This i'tiraz and objection should not be made on that type. They have their procedure and they go through it. It is advisable to accept their sighting. This is our view with regards to the sighting of the moon.
Even the geographic view is this, that Earth is the globe, it's round, whatever, or bias. There are lines called altitude and latitude.
Longitude, latitude.
The citation of moon and the birth of moon relates to those angles. So the countries who are on the same level, they will see it at the same time. So geographically, that is a possible explanation.
So anyway, alhamdulillah, over here, the majority of the country follow Saudi Arabia. There is no harm in there. That is with regards to the fasting. Moving on. Moving on. We have talked about niyat. Mufti Sahib over here now moves on to talk about acts that do not nullify the fast. You have kept your fast, you did something wrong. So what breaks the fast, what does not break it? First we go into those acts which do not break the fast. In Nurul Izah, it says that 24 things generally do not nullify the fast. Eating, drinking or having sexual intercourse forgetfully does not break the fast. Forgetfully means you forgot you are fasting. You forgot, you just didn't remember and you sat down to eat. Okay, this might not happen in Ramazan, but it does happen in normal days. Many times it happens to me as well. Like in normal day, if we thought that today is Monday, Thursday, let me fast today. So we fast, and according to the daily routine, we come here, we go in the Dora class, teach, and 12:15, and all those stars are in the staff room eating. We sit over here, put our a bag, and then start eating. Then remember, I've got fast today. So no problem. Hadith said, "Man akala aw shariba nasiyan, fa innama at'amahu Allah wa saqahu." If you make mistake, forget, and then you eat and drink, then Allah has fed you. No problem. Your roza is still counted. Keep your roza. छोड़ दो, उसी वक्त छोड़ दो. If you remember during that eating, then immediately leave it. Or I'll tell you one other masla. If you know someone is fasting and he has sat down to eat, that person will be falling into one of two kinds. Either he is weak and frail, or he is healthy and strong. If he is weak, then let him eat. Don't remind him. It is desirable to let him eat because he is weak anyway. He will eat. Don't remind him you are fasting. But if he is strong and healthy, tell him, why you are fasting today? So stop him from eating. So this is what the Sharia teaches us with regards to forgetfulness. So if someone eats or drinks or he forgets that he is fasting and he has sexual intercourse, that will not break the fast. Similarly, أو أنزل بنظر أو فكر وإن أدام النظر. If a person has an orgasm because of looking or thinking about the sexual area of a female, it does not break the fast, even if he stared or thought about it for a while. So, बैठे daydreaming about sexual intercourse or looking at some nauzubillah, nude photos or nude film pornography, something like that, and his semen came ejaculated, his roza will not be broken because he did not do any action. It will only be broken, say if he was to kiss or hug or fondle, and in that case, and then if money came out, then his roza will be broken. But if he did not do any of these, his roza will not be broken. Similarly, applying oil to the body does not break the fast. Likewise, the application of eyeliner, kuhl, surma, does not break the fast, even if the taste appears in the throat. If one is subjected to cupping में वो खून निकालते हैं, तो उससे भी रोजा नहीं टूटता. Similarly, cupping के ऊपर समझ लो blood test. So if you had a blood test in the hospital during the day and you gave blood, so it will not break the fast. Because fast is broken by something which goes inside, not by something which comes out. And this is your blood coming outside. Your fasting will not break. Your wuzu will break. Because wuzu breaks from pishab, istinja, blood coming out. So in blood test, your blood came out, so your wuzu will break. You will have to make wuzu for namaz again, but your roza will not break. Your roza will be intact, even though you took some blood out. So hajamat and cupping does not break the fast. If a person backbites, his roza will not break. Ghibating, backbiting. Why do you say this backbiting? Because according to the madhab of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahmatullah alayhi, if a person backbites, his fast will be broken. He was eating the flesh of his dead brother. That is why Rasulullah Pak said that. So Imam Ahmad said that his fast will be broken for backbiting. May Allah protect us. So, but according to the Hanafi Maslak, it is makruh to do ghibat and backbite and talk bad about other people while a person is fasting, but the fast will not be broken. أو نوى الفطرة ولم يفطر. If someone intends to break his fast but does not do so, then he has not broken his fast because the person did not undertake the action. So you intend that I'm going to break my fast, but then you got busy into something and you did not break it, and Maghrib time came, so your fast will be counted. If smoke enters the throat unintentionally, the fast does not break for the reason that it was unintentional and therefore unavoidable. So, like when a person went into a blacksmith's place, or maybe there was some agarbatti or bukur being burnt, and he happened to enter the room, and accidentally, unintentionally, smoke went in his nose and mouth, in his throat, it will not be broken. However, it's coming forward that deliberate smoking, huqqa, it will break the fast. So it's similarly chewing gum, it will break the fast. Aw ghubarun, likewise if dust, even if the dust of flour, atta, or a fly, or the taste of medicine accidentally enters the throat while one remembers he is fasting, then he has not nullified his fast. Again, dust of flour or any other dust or fly, or misal ke taur par he was feeling sleepy and he aur makhi andar chali gayi, so fly went inside his stomach, but because it was a mistake, unintentionally out of his control, his fast will not be broken. Similarly, if one awakens in the state of janabat, ghusl was wajib upon him due to sexual intercourse or wet dream, but he overslept, he was lazy, and he got up afterwards, and subh sadiq was done. So his roza will still be okay, his roza will not be broken. He will have to do ghusl and pray his fajr namaz, because the act of sexual intercourse was before the subh sadiq. So his roza will be okay, this will not nullify his fast. Aw sabba fi hilali, if water or medicinal oil is poured into the opening of the penis, the fast remains sound according to Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Muhammad. Though contrary to Abu Yusuf, it is as if Abu Yusuf considers that there is a passage between this opening and a body cavity, for which reason urine emerges. Imam Abu Hanifa understands that the bladder provides a barrier between them and urine is pushed through the bladder. This is something that does not belong to the category of fiqh. The answer is to be given by a medical expert. This is similar to the case that fall under tahqiq al-manat. So this is why I wanted you to come in, Dr. Saab, कि ये जो पेशाब की जगह है, इहलील, if someone puts some oil or medicine in there, does it go directly into the stomach, or is there a barrier between the stomach and the peshab ki jagah?
There is a
Barrier. So then we will have to give fatwa according to Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Muhammad's opinion that fast will not be broken if someone puts through it. However, the vaginal, if through the vagina, if some medicine is put in there, fast will be broken because it goes directly there. सही है, because regarding the putting medicine in vagina,
vagina में कोई भी इंट्रोड्यूस करो आप चीज,
हाँ,
लिक्विड वगैरह, मगर it won't go in stomach.
वहाँ पता नहीं फुकाहा ने वहाँ लिखा है कि विद वजाइनल, उसमें हत्ता वहाँ लिखा है स्मीयर टेस्ट, और उससे भी रोजा टूट जाएगा. इफ डॉक्टर जो है उंगली दाखिल करे, गायनोकोलॉजिस्ट, और ड्राई उंगली हो तो उससे रोजा नहीं टूटेगा. बट इफ द उंगली इज वेट, इट्स गॉट मेडिसिन ऑन देयर, और puts it inside, takes it out and puts it back inside, then the wetness has gone inside, roza will break in that situation.
vaginal problem है, for example, औरत, तो रोजा रहने की जरूरत ही नहीं, उसको डॉक्टर के पास जाके दिखाने, तो नेचुरली वो तो he will have to examine her, तो डाल के देखेगा ना पूरा.
हाँ, तो उसका ऐसा है कि वो रोजा रख कर जाए, और फिर अगर वो वजाइनल एग्जामिनेशन में उसने ये किया तो फिर उसका रोजा टूट गया, बाद में कज़ा कर ले. जैसे मुसाफिर है, if a person is going to travel throughout the day, then he has to keep fast, and then he can travel. Then by the time he travels, then he has to break the fast. Regarding the masala of asthma pump, I found my friend Sufi Tahir Sahab, and he said the Hanafi ulama, they say that roza is broken, but the other Arab ulama, they say that roza is not broken. And from the Hanafi ulama, Maulana Khalid Saifullah has said that a person who has this asthma problem, he should keep roza, and if he needs the pump, urgently, asthma attack, he should take it, and it is better for him to give fidya of that roza. This roza mein, and the roza in which he took asthma pump, give fidya of that. Fidya is 150 per roza. So what we give a sadqa fitr. हाँ, रोजा उसको मौलाना खालिद सैफुल्लाह
रखते हुए फिदिया भी दे सकते हैं.
हाँ, ये दे सकते हैं. अगर किसी रोजे में शक हो गया, कराहियत आ गई, डाउट हो गया, तो आप फिदिया भी दे सकते हैं. तो इसमें जरा थोड़ा सा इख्तिलाफ उलमा है, कुछ कहते हैं वो some say okay, some say no, so it's better to give fidya, so keep the roza as well and give fidya as well. It's better for that.
Irrespective of all the masail, everybody agrees that if you smoke, roza is broken.
Smoking roza is broken, no problem. Smoking there is no
process of smoking.
Pleasure है ना वो.
Pleasure है वो. हुक्का है, smoking cigarette है, cigar है, it's pleasure.
खाना खा रहे हैं, पेट भर के सिगरेट पी लिए तो इतना हो जाता है.
Moving on, if one enters a river and water enters inside the opening of the ears, the fast does not break. Swimming pool में jump लगाया, shower liya, kaan ke andar water went inside, roza will not break. However, if you deliberately put medicine inside the ears, then because the medicine will reach the brain, so or maybe it could go down. ब्रेन में पहुंचते नहीं पहुंचता. ब्रेन में बहुत से वो दवाई डालते हैं, तेल डालते हैं.
कान का मेम्ब्रेन है, वो जो टेम्परिंग मेम्ब्रेन, जब तक मेम्ब्रेन नहीं फटा कोई नहीं जाती आदमी.
लेकिन उसके असरात पहुंचते हैं वहाँ, ठंडक पहुंचती है. बाज अमराज में हकीम लोग वो दवाई डलवाते हैं, उससे वो दिमाग को ठंडक पहुंचती है. कान में डाल दिया तो उससे दिमाग को ठंडक पहुंचती है. हाँ, हकीम लोगों के यहाँ है. मसलन जैतून का तेल डालते हैं, उससे दिमाग को ठंडक होती है.
कनेक्शन तो है नहीं ना. अगर कान में आपको तेल डालो, कभी ठंडा हो जो भी, तब दिमाग में नहीं पड़ती. कभी जब जो कनेक्शन ही नहीं होता, वो तो टेम्परिंग में दरवाजा बंद है बिल्कुल, हुआ अंदर मेम्ब्रेन ब्रोकन है.
हाँ, वो तो डायरेक्ट जाएगा. मेम्ब्रेन ब्रोक करने से वो डायरेक्ट
कान उसमें भी जाएगा.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
बैरियर अल्लाह ताला हर जगह बैरियर रखा है ना.
बैरियर रखा है.
आदमी का लोग का पट्टा खा लिया तो अब जब मतलब साहब चलते अगर चुमी लिए तो रोजे में टूट जाता. उनमें किसकी चुमी? बीवी की. वो कैसा? तो बोले मैं जाते बाहर बीवी की चुमी लेके जाता हूँ रोजे में. इतने प्यार नहीं करते कि जा रहे तुम बाहर, रोज जाऊँ कर सकता नहीं करते, उन्हें वो कर सकते आप. अगर कोई आपका और ऐसा इंटेंशन नहीं है सेक्सुअल, लेके जाना है तो रोटी में जा रहे हैं, कर सकते.
रोजे में Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to kiss during roza. So if the fuqaha say that for an old man, no problem. For a young man, he should not kiss because it could lead on to other things as well. आगे चलिए. أو حك أذنه. If a person places a twig in his ear or an earbud and withdraws wax with it and then re-enters the twig back into his ear again, the fast does not break according to the agreement of the scholars because this wax or general dirt does not reach the brain. أو دخل أنفه مخاط. If nasal mucus enters the nasal passage and is sniffed back into the throat and swallowed on purpose, the fast remains sound. However, the mucus or the phlegm of the throat must be expelled so that it does not break the fast, as held by Imam Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi, for the reason that a person has the ability to emit it from his mouth. أو زرعه القيء. If one inadvertently vomits, qay hogi, so that does not break the fast, even if it is a mouthful, due to the words of the Prophet ﷺ. If one had a sudden attack of vomiting while one is fasting, no atonement is required of him. But if he vomits intentionally, he must make atonement. And likewise, if the vomit that came up turns back inside the throat unintentionally and is mouthful, the fast is still not broken according to the most correct view held by Imam Muhammad, because he is not nourished by this and because it does not resemble the picture of one who is breaking his fast, which is to swallow in the real sense. However, Imam Yusuf says that the fast is void. Avistaqa, intentionally vomiting less than one mouthful, intentionally less than one mouthful, does not break the fast according to the most sound view, even if the vomit that came up goes back inside according to the correct view. This is the opinion held by Abu Yusuf, saying that the vomit has not come out legally. On the other hand, Imam Muhammad held that one's fast is nullified if he intentionally vomits, even if it's less than a mouthful. Moving on, if a person swallows the traces of food that remain between his teeth from pre-dawn meal, सुबह सादिक में सहरी खाई थी, or something was stuck between his teeth, and after Fajr he swallowed it, it does not break the fast provided that thing is less than the size of a chickpea. The reason is it does not nullify the fast is because it is judged as part of the saliva, and this is something of which one is unable to avoid. أو مضغ مثل سمسمة, chewing something like sesame that comes from outside the mouth until it melts does not break the fast, provided the taste does not appear in his throat. Meaning, if the taste does appear, then the fast will break. Like in chewing gum, the mint taste will go inside the throat and inside the stomach. So chewing gum will break the fast. But if it was like sesame seed and you went into the mouth, a sesame seed is very small. You can't even feel it. Then it will not break fast. Then Saibe Nuliza writes, that which nullifies the fast requiring expiation and make-up day, meaning वो चीज जो को रोजा तोड़ती है, कज़ा और कफ़ारा दोनों both become first. These are he writes इथनानी व इशरून शैयन, there are 22 things which, if performed willingly and intentionally without being compelled, results in the termination of the fast and requires a compulsory make-up day and expiation to atone for the violation. Kafara, 2 months continuous fast, or freeing one slave, or feeding 60 poor persons. This is kafara. So you have to do at one time. So this is kafara for doing the following things intentionally. Having intercourse in either of the passageway, vagina or anus, breaks the fast of both the doer and the receiver of the act, and makes them liable for expiation and qaza. To make up that 1 day and then 60 days. So 61 days fast continuously. You can't put a break in between. However, if the woman is keeping the continuous fast and haiz nifas comes between menstruation, she will be exempt and she will have to continue as soon as the haiz finishes. But the man, he has to keep the continue. If it breaks in between after 15 days, then he has to start again for the 60 days fasting. This is due to the completion of offense. Note, the ruling is the same whether one has an orgasm or not, because in this case, carnal desire is satisfied even without it. Similarly, eating or drinking, whether it is for nourishment or for medical benefits, even if it's minimal, breaks the fast and necessitates expiation and make-up day. To swallow rainwater after it enters the mouth breaks the fast and necessitates make-up and expiation. Eating raw meat, even if it is damaged, requires expiation and a make-up day. Eating the fat or grease of meat nullifies the fast and requires expiation and qaza. And this is the opted view according to Imam Abu Layth. Eating jerked or cured meat breaks the fast. Dry meat ke pieces hote hain, eating that. Everything is connected to eating. Eating the seed of wheat and chewing it, except if the seed is chewed and consequently melts away, leaving no trace in the throats. If one swallows a seed of grain, sesame or something of the like thing from outside the mouth, and this is the adopted view by the scholars. Eating a beneficial type of soil known as armani nullifies the fast absolutely and necessitates expiation and qaza. Eating soil that is non-beneficial, such as dry earth known as tifil, nullifies the fast and necessitates expiation, provided one is in the habit of eating it. जैसे चूना खाते हैं, चूना भी एक मिट्टी है, तो चूना खाया तो उसे रोजा, कज़ा और कफ़ारा दोनों लाजिम होंगे, both things. والملح القليل, eating a small amount of salt nullifies the fast and imposes expiation, kafara and qaza. And this is the opted view on this matter. ابتلاع بزاق زوجته, swallowing the saliva of one's wife or a friend breaks the fast, and atonement is to be observed through expiation. Kissing के जरिया उसके दुआब हलक में उतार लिया तो roza breaks, and kafara and qaza both have to be done. Though if one swallows saliva from other than his wife or friend, then the expiation is not required, because in this case it is detested by the one who swallows it. If a person intentionally eats after backbiting, or after subjected to cupping, or after touching his wife, or after kissing with desire, or after sleeping near his wife lustfully kissing her without ejaculating, or after applying oil on his moustache, because he believes that such acts have terminated his fast, then he is liable for kafara and qaza. The exception to this is if he is given a legal ruling by a scholar who said that these acts do break the fast, and this was his understanding based on the ruling given by the scholar, in which case he is not liable for kafara, because according to the offender he thought he had broken the fast based on the ruling given to him by an alim, a scholar. And the other exception is if he had heard the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ but did not understand its meaning according to the madhab, such as the one who backbites has broken his fast. So he progressed forward and he ate based on what he understood. In both cases, the expiation is not necessary, though if there was no such ruling issued or one had not misunderstood the hadith, the expiation is still necessary to perform, and whatever the case may be, he is still liable to make up the day. If, however, the person knows the meaning or interpretation of the hadith he heard according to the madhab, and still he breaks the fast and then he eats, then he is liable for expiation. Or expiation kafara is wajib upon female who willingly complied to have sexual intercourse with her husband, who was forced to have intercourse with her. A scenario of this is that an oppressive king forces a man to commit sexual intercourse with his wife during the day in Ramadan, and whilst he is forced, she willingly complies without being forced, thus the expiation becomes necessary upon her due to the serious crime of compliance and facilitation. Indeed, she actualized the crime from her side in facilitating and allowing her husband to perform these actions. Another scenario is if a woman knows that the dawn time had arrived and yet she allows her husband to have intercourse with her willingly and he had no knowledge of the arrival of dawn, then in that case she will have to give kafara along with qaza. Then bayan of kafara, and also he has mentioned what you call kafara and which excuses are there, what is kafara, and then moving on, there are 57 things that nullify the fast but do not necessitate kafara. Only qaza will have to be kept upon these 53 things. If one fasting eats raw rice, kache chawal, flour or wheat grain, the fast is nullified although the expiation is not associated. If a person eats a mouthful of salt, he is not liable for a kafara for the reason that it will not be one's desire to have a mouthful of salt. Hence the circumstances are different. Eating soil that contains no medical benefit and not being in the habit of eating invalidates the fast but does not require the expiation for the reason that it serves no medical purpose. Eating the stone of a fruit, cotton or paper breaks the fast without necessitating expiation. Eating uncooked quince or raw quince nullifies the fast, expiation is not imposed. Eating raw walnut, swallowing a pebble, metal or soil, taking an enema or pouring drops of medicine through the nostrils break the fast, whereas the kafara is not required. An enema is generally used where there is need, thus not requiring kafara. Note, an enema is having medicine inserted through the anus. However, Qazi Abu Yusuf held that taking an enema and pouring snuff through the nostrils or throat requires kafara, expiation. The forceful pouring of something down the throat nullifies the fast but does not require expiation, and this is the most correct opinion. To drip water or oil into the ears nullifies the fast, and this is the soundest view. The fast is invalid because the fluid will inevitably reach the brain through this action, though expiation is not required. The Prophet ﷺ said, the fast is broken with whatever enters inside the body. Fast is broken and this has entered inside him. Applying medicine to a wound of the stomach or head, which then penetrates a cavity reaching the inside of the stomach or brain, like an injury on the head and the brain was open and something went straight inside, or injury on the stomach bowels and something went inside, will be broken. Someone had a surgery during the roza and his intestine was taken out, piece was cut off and it was joined after that, his roza will break because something has gone inside the stomach. If rain or snow water enters the throat and is swallowed by accident, it breaks the fast but does not require kafara, and this is the most correct opinion. If one accidentally breaks his fast with water used for gargling, in that it seeps down one's throat, the qaza is zaruri but expiation is not imposed upon him. Therefore, in Ramazan, when we are doing wudu or performing ghusl, we have to be very careful not to gargle because water could go. So in Ramazan, do your kulli slowly and don't do it too hard. शाफी मजहब पे नहीं टूटेगा, हनफी मजहब पे टूट जाएगा. शाफी मजहब पे तो नहीं टूटेगा लेकिन हनफी मजहब में टूट जाएगा क्योंकि वो थ्रोट में चला गया ना, अंदर यहाँ पर ठंडक पूरी आ गई, वो एक
खतरे भी गए,
हलक में चला गया तो टूट जाएगा. हलक में नहीं जाना चाहिए, केयरफुल रहें. हलक का नली जो है तो गरारा न करें. रमजान में रोजे की हालत में
करना पड़ेगा,
कज़ा करना पड़ेगा. वो एक साहब यहाँ इंग्लैंड से इंडिया गए थे रमजान. He went to India during Ramazan and it was hot summer days. So he says it was really hot. So at Zohar time when he used to go to the house pool for doing wuzu, he would do wuzu and then at time of cooling and take a little bit of water inside. Say, feel really nice and cool over here. And then your roza is gone. So your roza breaks. أو أفطر مكرها ولو بالجماع. If one is coerced to break his fast, even if it is through sexual intercourse, the qaza is wajib, the kafara is not imposed upon him. Similarly, if a female is forced to indulge in sexual intercourse, then the expiation is not imposed in her. If a married woman or slave breaks her fast for fear of falling ill because of the duty she performs, then the expiation is not required, as the fast is ruined due to a valid reason. If water is poured into the inside of a person who is sleeping, he was sleeping, someone opened his mouth and put water inside him, then his roza is broken because water went inside, but he will not have to give kafara, only do qaza of that roza which was broken. So he will be not be liable for kafara. हाँ नहीं खा भी नहीं, दिन भर जो है वो भूखा रहे फिर और कफारा भी दे
इफ्तार तक।
हाँ
रोजा जब टूट गया तो खा लेना फिर वो चले गया है पानी, रोजा टूट गया है
उसको कहते हैं तशब्बुह बिस्साइम. There is one thing, something called tashabbuh bis-saim. In some cases, a person has to look like a person who is fasting. This is called tashabbuh. It's like when a woman has menstruation, she should do tashabbuh bis-saim. If she feels hungry, she should eat secretly, quietly in the kitchen when nobody is there. So, in some cases, there is something called tashabbuh bis-saim. So over here as well, he has to do mushabahat with the sign. Moving on, eating on purpose after eating forgetfully does not impose expiation, even if one knows the hadith concerning it, and this is the soundest opinion. If one has sexual intercourse forgetting he is fasting, and then after remembering continues to have sexual intercourse intentionally, then qaza will be done, but kafara will not be imposed upon him. If a person eats after making his intention of fasting in the day and not overnight, if a person begins the day as a traveler and then intends residence and thereafter breaks his fast by eating, if a person becomes a traveler after starting the day as a resident and thereafter breaks his fast by eating, if a person abstains from eating with no intention of fasting and no intention of breaking fast, if person eats suhoor, pre-dawn meal, or has sexual intercourse during which he has doubt about the rising of dawn, where in reality it had already dawned, then the expiation is not imposed upon such person, though the fast breaks and he will have to keep qaza. The expiation is not imposed if a person breaks his fast believing that the sun had set when it had not set earlier, so he will only have to do qaza, not kafara. An orgasm due to sexual intercourse with a dead woman or beast, or an orgasm caused by rubbing the genitals between the thighs of someone, or by rubbing them on abdomen of someone, or due to kissing, touching, or masturbation, it breaks the fast but does not impose expiation. The fast will be void. Note, we stated earlier that if there is no completion of pleasure by way of carnal desire through a location that is desired, then the expiation is not necessary. And this is the case at hand. Even if a person has an orgasm, it is not regarded as complete for the reason that it is one-sided, so he won't have to give kafara, only qaza. أو أفسد صوم غير أداء رمضان. There is no expiation if a person breaks a fast other than the fast of Ramazan, like kafara or nafil. Having sexual intercourse with a sleeping woman, or while she is temporarily insane, does not necessitate the expiation due to the absence of offense on her part. The dripping of anything such as liquid or the like into the vagina breaks the fast, but does not necessitate the expiation, and this is the most correct view as it has a resemblance to the animal. असल में औरत का दूसरा मसला भी है ना, उसका एक तो है पेशाब का रास्ता, फिर विलादत बच्चे की होती है उसका रास्ता, वो अलग अलग हैं, लेकिन वो दवाई पहुंचेगी उस रास्ते से पेशाब के बजाय उस बच्चादानी के रास्ते से. तो इसलिए औरत के मसले में, वो मर्द के मसले में पेशाब की जगह में डाले तो उसमें तो फुकाहा कहते नहीं टूटता, लेकिन औरत के मसले में कहते हैं टूट जाता है, वजाइना में कुछ डाल. Inserting a finger which is wet with water or oil into the anus or inner part of a woman's vagina does not impose the expiation, though the fast breaks, and this is the opted view on the matter. हो गया नहीं? तो एनिमल लिया और ऑयल और पानी वाले उसमें डाला,
किसी को पाइल्स है,
हाँ, और उसमें वो ट्यूब डाला,
पाइल्स है, उसको जो है ऑइंटमेंट लगाना पड़ेगा, पड़ता है। तो क्या है वो, अगर शहर के बाद ऑइंटमेंट लगा ले,
तो टूट जाएगा रोजा।
शहर के बाद लगा ले,
शहर के बाद उसको चाहिए शहर से पहले लगा ले, सुबह सादिर से पहले लगा ले,
मतलब नमाज से फजर के पहले,
सुबह सादिर शहरी का जो टाइम है, शहरी का टाइम मिसाल के तौर पर 4:55 है, तो उससे पहले लगा ले 4:30 4:40, लेकिन जब सुबह सादिर हो गई उसके बाद में लगाए। Inserting a piece of cotton into the anus or inside of the vagina to the extent that it disappears. Expiation is not imposed if smoke is intentionally inhaled into the throat, though the fast breaks. For example, smoking. So through smoking, roza breaks, you have to keep qaza, but you don't have to give kafara.
What about passive smoking? अगर मैं रोजे मोहब्बती पी रहा है,
हाँ, तो उसे नहीं टूटेगा, वो अनइंटेंशनली है ना, हमने पीछे बता दिया, अगरबत्ती है और समथिंग लाइक दैट, बखूर है, अनइंटेंशनली तो नहीं टूटेगा, इंटेंशनली लेंगे उसे टूट जाएगा, इंटेंशनली तो वो स्टीम से भी टूट जाएगा। मसलन वो स्टीम है और उसमें टॉवल रखा और उसको इनहेल किया विक्स डाल करके सर्दी दूर करने के लिए, तो दैट्स इंटेंशनली द स्टीम इज गोइंग इनसाइड योर बॉडी, दैट विल ब्रेक द फास्ट। अनइंटेंशनली, अनअवॉइडेबल, इट वोंट ब्रेक इट। वॉमिटिंग इंटेंशनली, ये तो हमने कवर कर लिया है, और कलमा भी नदी भी कर लिया है। हाँ, इफ वन बिकेम अनकॉन्शियस, suffers from fainting even for the entire month of Ramazan, then he is liable to make up the days except the actual day in which he fainted, and if it occurred at night, then he is to make up for the entire period of fainting except the day that follows this night. If one suffers from insanity, ये इसलिए एक मसले की तफसीर कर लिया, the one I said in the beginning, coma. So even if a person was in coma and then he regained conscious, and when he wakes up, he has to keep the fast, make up for the fast. He doesn't have to make up for namaz, but he has to make up for the roza.
Yeah. But here
namaz is, if it's more than 5, he doesn't have to make up. If it's less than 5, he has to make up.
they are referring here to a person who is mad or majnun.
नहीं, unconscious है ना, mad majnun का आगे है. If a person suffers from insanity for part of the month, he is to make up for the days. The basis for this is that there is no hardship in making up days which are less than a month, as distinguished from the person who is insane for the entire month and is subjected to hardship through performance. If one suffers from insanity for the entire period of Ramazan, he is not liable to make up the days even if he only recovers at night during the day after the time of for intention has passed, because he cannot fast at night and neither after the noon time when the time of intention has ended.
Will that apply to epileptics?
हाँ, वो है ना, epileptic का भी सेम रूलिंग होगा।
एपिलेप्टिक तो वो नहीं है ना,
इंसानिटी के साथ साथ
वो तो अनप्रेडिक्टेबल है, कभी रोजे में
बता रहा है कॉन्शियस
नहीं, मतलब थोड़ी देर के लिए होता है ना,
कॉन्शियस
तो उसको तो रोजा रखना है, उससे रोजा टूटेगा नहीं। उसका एपिलेप्टिक अटैक हुआ है तो उसे रोजा नहीं टूटेगा, क्या वो तो वो रहते हुए उसके बाद थोड़ी देर बाद 10 मिनट बाद ही वाज ओके, देयर इज नो हार्म इन द रोजा। हाँ, if he eats or drinks something after that,
टैबलेट देना पड़ेगा ना,
most epileptics swallow their
Okay.
कुछ देना पड़ेगा टैबलेट कंट्रोल करने।
5 minutes.
हाँ, नहीं टैबलेट,
हाँ टैबलेट
नहीं सबको नहीं देना पड़ता, सबको नहीं देना पड़ता। हमारे भाई को था, उसको कुछ भी नहीं, थोड़ी देर बाद फिर होश में आराम, रेस्ट, he goes to sleep and after half an hour is like
most epileptics they swallow their saliva and once they have faith they swallow, the roza is broken.
नहीं
बिल्कुल, अगर कोई भी चीज खा ले
फॉलो कर रहा है, एपिलेप्टिक अटैक है तो दैट्स ओके।
जी
मैं रोजा तो टूट जाता है ना,
नहीं
सिर्फ एपिलेप्टिक अटैक से,
एपिलेप्टिक अटैक में अगर उसने अपना सलाइवा निगल लिया,
हाँ।
अक्सर एपिलेप्टिक्स
नहीं सर, अपना सलाइवा निकलने से कुछ नहीं होता। ओके, इंजेक्शन, इफ यू टेक एन इंजेक्शन, रोजा डजंट ब्रेक, इवन इफ द इंजेक्शन इज ऑफ इंसुलिन, रोजा विल नॉट ब्रेक. Similarly, injection of glucose, one might feel that in glucose you get energy in the body, but still the roza will not break. Because as we said, कोई हरकत नहीं, वो स्टमक में जो चीज डायरेक्टली जाए उससे टूटता है, ये डायरेक्टली नहीं जा रही है. That is where Dr. Saab give the example of that scorpion and snake bite. The snake bite goes in your body, but scorpion bite goes in your body, but it doesn't break the fast. Similarly, injection it goes inside the body, but it doesn't break the fast. If there is an injection which we are put on straight inside the stomach, then it will break because it's going inside the belly, or straight inside the brain, that will break the fast. But apart from these two, if it goes in any other part of the body, the roza will not break. We have covered blood test. Blood test will not go. Dental appointment. During the month of Ramazan, dental appointment should be avoided. Because when you go for cleaning the teeth, then blood comes out and blood goes inside. If the gums are bleeding and you can taste the blood with your saliva and you swallow that saliva, then the roza will break because blood has gone inside. But if the blood was very minimal and saliva was more, roza will not break. Blood is more, saliva is less, the fast will break. So because normally bleeding takes place and sometimes there is water as well to go with it and they try to suck it and something is definitely going down the throat. So avoid keeping a dental appointment throughout the month of Ramazan and otherwise you will break. Similarly, deliberate vomiting, which we have covered, water going down the throat while gargling, smoking, not if unintentionally, chewing gum, swallowing stone, mud or anything, snuff, smoking agarbatti, inhaler, asthma pump. Asthma pump we have talked about it. Ear, put medicine, anus, we have covered that. Mazi coming out will not break the fast. So these are.
But have to take ghusl.
Huh?
But have to take the ghusl.
With mazi no ghusl.
Yeah.
Mazi, mani ghusl first. Mani is that which comes out with excitement and which is thick. And mazi is without excitement, but just on the remembering of intercourse or just thinking about it, and you get erection, and then mazi just comes out, and there is no futur after it. Then that is called mazi, and that does not break the fast. However, you just have to wash the clothes and the part, and your wuzu will be broken like pishab breaks wuzu, mazi breaks wuzu.
And continue roza.
You continue roza. Some things are makruh during the roza. 7 things are makruh. To taste something without any reason is disliked. Makruh. Meaning you just put it on your and then take it back out. You don't swallow it. Then this won't break the fast, but it will be makruh. However, if the husband is a zalim and the wife is scared, and at iftar time, if there is too much salt or too much pepper or too much milk, he will get angry. So she's really scared and she tastes it. Then this will be allowed for her because of that. So without reason is disliked. Chewing something without an excuse is disliked. Just chewing something in the mouth which has no taste and the taste does not go down the throat. If it goes down the throat, roza will break.
So this
Kissing and caressing while
miswak, if you have a neem.
No, miswak neem is okay.
Because
that's okay. Good job you asked. Because sometimes the neem has the taste of the bitter taste on the miswak. So it doesn't matter. If it's a fresh miswak, you just got it off and there is lots of taste in there and you brush your teeth, it doesn't matter. Toothpaste. Toothpaste after roza has started is makruh. And if the toothpaste goes down the throat, roza will break. So even normally we just throw it out, but sometimes some people swallow the toothpaste. So if they swallow the toothpaste, roza will break. But if you don't swallow it, you just brush your teeth, then roza will be makruh because you still get that mint taste in your mouth, even though you don't swallow it. But you are at risk of breaking your fast. So toothpaste brushing teeth will break. So it's better. No, do you? What we normally do is we do our toothpaste before suhoor, and after suhoor throughout the day we just use miswak, and after iftar we do.
Swallowing mechanism is in control. And once they brush with a toothpaste which has got taste, it's beyond your control, the taste will go down.
Will go down, then it's avoid. Similarly, kissing and caressing while fasting is disliked if one is not sure that these will not cause an orgasm or sexual intercourse. And this is evident view on the matter. Gathering the saliva in the mouth and then swallow it is disliked. Apna thu, own saliva, gathering it and then swallowing is makruh. It is disliked to perform any act.
Reverse of that, in India, Pakistan, they asked me this question. People keep spitting all the time and say, I'm doing roza, I'm doing roza. And you might have not seen, I have seen this, particularly kids. Maulana Thanvi writes, that's also makruh. They're spitting all the time and saying we are.
Say. It is disliked to perform any act which is believed to weaken one from fasting, such as cupping, acupuncture, bloodletting. So it is makruh to give blood during the month of Ramazan because you will get weak. Also acupuncture, cupping, it is makruh to do these things because they make you weak and then maybe you have to break your fast. So you are leading yourself into breaking the fast. So you should not do that, avoid these things. एक बात याद आ रही थी, मैं भूल गया, आप क्या कह रहे थे अभी, वो स्पीडिंग. During the month of Ramazan, because we are having longer days now, we should, at suhoor time, we should try and eat things which last in the stomach throughout the day. Chawal, rice, they digest very quickly. But roti, paratha, these things digest later on. So we should eat things which stay and give us energy throughout the day. Secondly, we should avoid drinking tea and laxatives, because after tea we have to go past waters too much, and much of the protein, vitamin go out with the urine. So in order to avoid that, don't drink too much full mugs of tea at suhoor time. And also during the hot summer days or in hot countries like in Saudi, take some lassi in the morning at suhoor time. The lassi will keep you cool throughout the day. So we have to follow the medical advice with regards to the fasting as well, in order to help us throughout the fast. What is not makruh? Kissing and caressing is not disliked, provided one is sure and in control of himself that it will not lead to an orgasm or intercourse.
What about flying kisses?
I have said that, though you don't need to do a flying kiss. You can kiss your own wife. If you are, this is what saying it's not makruh. This is another chapter. The makruh chapter is finished. This is non-makruh chapter. So flying kiss or actual kiss. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha reports that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would kiss and caress his wife while fasting, and he had more power to control his desires than any of you. So there is no harm in kissing. Rubbing oil or lotion onto the moustache is not disliked. Applying of kuhl, eyeliner, is not disliked. Cupping, bloodletting, provided it does not weaken yourself. Miswak, there is no harm, no dislike to use miswak at the end of the day. Rather it is sunnah, just like it is at the beginning of the day, even if the siwak is damp or wet with water. What is mustahab? Three things are mustahab: pre-dawn meal, suhoor, and number 2, to delay the suhoor as further as possible, and number 3, to be quickly and haste in breaking roza, opening the fast on the day where there is no obstruction or clouds in the sky. And then mareez and hamila and breastfeeding. The ill, the pregnant and the breastfeeding, they are circumstances which exempt a person from fasting. They can make up other times. There are some exemptions for a traveler and musafir as well, but we have no time and it's no time. ठीक है.